University of Virginia when I was a young man, though I'm delighted to hear you say something because I attended William and Mary, old Royal College of William and Mary. That was a collegiate curriculum. It was rather limited and parochial. But I had in mind, as I left, to truly create a more universal curriculum. In fact, I held to this very securely. And in 1773, when I was 30 years old, the last Royal Governor of Virginia, we had no idea he'd be the last Royal Governor at that time, but John Murray, the Earl of Dunmore, commissioned me to suggest an improvement to the curriculum at William and Mary that it might become a University of Virginia. So beyond the 4 schools, there was the School of Grammar for the eldest sons and families to attend to English curriculum. There was the School of Divinity, which was actually the first school of the college in order to educate young boys for the Anglican ministry. William and Mary was a seminary of the Church of England. There was the Indian school for the Christianizing of the so-called heathen. And then, of course, the highest curriculum offered in the colony of Virginia, into which I was enrolled, was the School of Mathematics and Natural Philosophy. Now, I suggested beyond those 4 schools, in this report, 1773, that we have a School of Law. There was no standard of reading law in preparation for the law. That we have a School of Medicine. There was only one School of Medicine in all of the colonies. Anyone know where it was? It's in Philadelphia. And that didn't hold a candle to the Medical College at Edinburgh. Then I suggested a School of Modern Languages with the increase of our diverse population from the oppressed kingdoms of Europe, that we should be able to pull ourselves closer together and learning several different languages beside our native tongue. And then a School of Literature, which I believed was becoming the more and more influential, particularly as I've referred to Shakespeare already, as holding a mirror up to human nature for a better understanding of ourselves. Now, unfortunately, Governor Dunmore returned that with the negative. Anyone know the reason why? Whenever they tell you it's not about money,
it's money.
I answered simply, build it and they will come. Well, now, citizens, there's some sincerity with this. The most important investment we may make in our lives is education. That more than anything else is going to improve our condition. And particularly look what it did for us as the legacy of our parents. It's incumbent, it's upon our shoulders that we provide that for our progeny and generations yet unborn. It never occurred until I finally was elected governor myself. The revolution had already commenced and I was the second elected governor of the new Commonwealth of Virginia. Anyone remember who the first elected governor of the Commonwealth was? Very good. It was Henry. And he was the first.
But
he wanted to be
Patrick
the second
Henry.
too. He couldn't do it because of the Constitution of Virginia. You can only serve 1 term of 2 consecutive years. Now you could return at another time, but not follow yourself. And he did return in time. But I held on when I became governor to these initial plans and established. Well, I'm going to ask you all, where do you think the very first law school in our nation was established? Any idea what year and by whom?
University of Virginia.
It wasn't the University of Virginia at the time.
George Washington.
No. Now, citizens, if you leave here today without remembering anything, I hope you don't forget this. The first school of law in our new nation was established in June 1779 by the second elected governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia in Williamsburg at William and Mary.
Oh, William.
First law school was at William and Mary, established by, thank you.
Jefferson.
And we established a medical school there, not for very long. We established a school of literature there as well, and modern languages. So it got off the road, but it didn't last very long. So I still held to my premise in my design for a universal curriculum. And when I retired from public office, within the next several years, I began to put that in motion and establish what has now become our university, a true university of Virginia, and it is supported by the Commonwealth. See, William and Mary was supposed to be in a universal curriculum supported by the colony. That is what was going to cost too much money. Now, so you asked me what course I studied at William and Mary. As I answered, mathematics and natural philosophy. Now, that was the highest curriculum there. And many people have asked me what degree I received. Anyone know? Well, this is not to engage you in trickery. I'll fess up. I received no degree. A baccalaureate was not even offered until 10 years after I left. They did offer an Arts Magister, or what I believe you refer to now as a master's, for young boys who would be enrolled 7 years in the School of Divinity. They could not be ordained at the time. They would have to sail to London and be ordained in London in order to return and to take up their see, or their parish, as you might refer to it, in the colony of Virginia. So in other words, madam, in that long expose, I never graduated from college, which I presume equips me well to found a university, does it not? It does. The influence of my teacher at William and Mary, Dr. William Small, has remained lifelong. And so that's exactly what happened. I left William and Mary after 2 years. In fact, I came home here and lived with Mother, which I understand is still a tradition. Is it not? Well, I'm going to, yes, sir.
You said that William and Mary used to be a seminary?
It began as a seminary for the Church of England, yes.
But during your time, it was still a seminary?
No. In fact, as the war commenced, remember, we severed our ties with the monarchy of Great Britain and the Church of England. Remember, we were governed by the Church of England as we were governed by the British monarchy. No matter what your opinion in religion might be, you still had to pay a tax to the support of the Church of England. Your tithing was required by everyone. And if you wanted to marry, no matter what your religion, you had to purchase a marriage license from the Church of England. And you were also required by law to attend the Church of England at least 12 Sundays a year, on the average 1 Sunday a month. And if you desisted during those times, you were fined, and if you failed to pay your fine, you were thrown into jail. I remember before the war began, our jails in Virginia were becoming filled with Baptists. Truly, they had come down from the north preaching freedom for religion. And I stood on their behalf. In fact, so did Henry at that time. But then when we severed our ties, well, we no longer supported the churches of England. We no longer had the salaries, so to speak, for the ministers. They were paid by the state. So many of these churches went vacant, and this was the opportunity to seize the moment, as I did, and wrote a bill for religious freedom, guaranteeing the inherent right of every individual to hold their opinion upon religion as they choose, or to hold no opinion upon the subject if they choose.
So during your time, you didn't study theology anymore?
No. No, I've acquainted myself with many of the world's religions, absolutely. I've been very interested in theology, but no, I've never received a degree in that. And I will tell you, as I've written, I've come to believe that the sum of all religion, is simply do unto others as you would desire to have done unto yourself, and love your neighbor as you ought to love yourself. That's all of the world's. Now, if anyone says, well, Mr. Jefferson, some religions are not that. No, I'm talking about the sum of them. I'm talking about religion. I'm not talking about the twistifying of ecclesiastical laws through political intervention. That's why I'm adamant, I've always been adamant, stand staunchly opposed to politics in the pulpit and the pulpit in politics. Because that's not religion. And common sense dictates that. It's not religion, it's this, it's politics. It has nothing to do with the spirituality of a communion with your Maker and doing unto others. Yes, sir.